All right, first I want to welcome everyone to the MAF Orientation for the 2015-2016 school year. I do want to go over a few meeting reminders. Just a few reminders this afternoon so we can keep the meeting as brief as possible on this summer day so everyone can get back to what they want to enjoy doing. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are talking. Keep your questions related to the topics in today's meeting. If you have school-specific questions, we will answer those through email. We would like for you to use the chat box for any questions during the meeting today, and you can enter those in the bottom left-hand corner there. Today's meeting is being recorded, so if you have audio issues, I will send that link out this Friday, for you to watch it. The agenda does look pretty full today. The topics will be covered quickly, so the meeting should last about 30 minutes. Just a quick reminder that orientation is a requirement of the grant. All schools receiving the grant must send the confirmation code and contact information after the viewing of the orientation. The Kentucky Department of Education has partnered with the Kentucky Center for Mathematics in the implementation of the MAF grant, so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves from KCM. Alice, Jennifer, or Pam, if you would like to introduce yourself from KCM. All right, it looks like they have lost their mic, so we'll give them just a second. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I want to go over a few of the grant highlights. Just a few reminders, the MAF grant focuses on primary students. The MIT must be a certified teacher with at least 3 years experience in the primary grade levels, K-3. The 5 grant-approved programs are listed there for you to look at, and those are ones that you should have selected. With the recent RFA, there was 258 schools that applied for the MAF grant. The KDE did award $41,000 to 113 schools, and this is for 1 full-time teacher per school. The grants are renewable for 2 years contingent on funding, successful implementation, and student progress. And here is a map that just shows you a quick visual of where the MAF grant schools are located for the upcoming year. The green dots represent schools, districts that have 5 or more grants. The yellow or the orange color dot represents schools with 2 to 4 grants. Now that your school has been awarded the grant, we want to discuss how you can prepare to implement your school's grant proposal. First, we recommend that you keep a copy, either a digital copy or a printed version of the grant. It is important that you read your grant and understand the proposal, and that proposal is how you plan to implement the grant. You should communicate the requirements of the grant with others that might be involved in the implementation. Second, you should hire the MIT that has at least 3 years primary experience. This person should also be a leader within your building because he or she will collaborate and also provide professional learning for your staff. Do we have any questions yet on anything covered so far? All right, we're going to move ahead. Alice and or Jennifer or Pam from KCM will share their online resources. If they are online, let me see. Let's see if we can get them on.
Hi Pam, it's Jen.
Hi Jennifer.
We seem to keep getting kicked out. We're not really sure why. It only keeps us on for about a minute each time, and then each of us keep getting kicked off.
Okay.
But I can definitely go through the website.
Okay, that would be great. And this is Jennifer Martinez, and she's from the Kentucky Center for Mathematics, and she is the one that you'll contact if you have any big questions.
Thanks, Pam. Yes, I'm Jennifer Martinez, and I am in charge of pretty much the evaluation plan for the MAF grant, as well as any data collection and logging of the students. So if you have any questions regarding that, you would want to contact me. But I did want to go over the website, because the website is where you're going to find all of the pertinent information that you're going to need. So our website is www.kymath.org, and we maintain contact with Pamela Pickens, and she sends us any information from the KDE as well. So anything that you're going to need, you'll always be able to find here. But let me go ahead and see if I can share my desktop. Actually, it doesn't look like it's giving me that option, Pam.
Okay, I'll go on and share mine, and then you can just walk us through it.
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Technology is great when it works. Are you seeing the desktop? And like Jennifer said, it's just www.kymath.org. And I think we might have lost Jennifer, so I'll go ahead and walk you through the website. When you go to their website, if you'll click over there, kind of hover over resources to the left, and you'll click on MAF resources for 2015-2016. And on this page, it'll be any important announcements that are coming up, also resources that you can use in your school. And I'll let that catch up with me. Like you see there, we have the orientation link for today's meeting as well. For KDE updates, under this you'll have our monthly newsletters or our monthly updates, and that just kind of gives you some information, things that are coming up. MAF contact information, so these are the people that you might have questions directed to. If it's at KDE, I can typically answer any grant-related questions. If it's a budget question, you can send those to me, but I will end up forwarding those to Kristen Burton, and her email address is included there as well. There's your KCM contacts. Alice usually is able to answer any kind of program questions. We also have regional coordinators there too. There will be 3 more that are added later on. Let me see if Alice is back on yet. Oh. Alice, it shows that you're there if you want to pick up. I'll go on and scroll down through here, and they'll just chime in when they get back online. Here's your professional learning experiences for the new MITs. So if you haven't registered already, this shows you the registration link, so you'll just register if you're for whatever professional learning that you need. It also has a link to the hotel in which the training is going to be held at and the times, and then all of them are listed there. AVMR is listed 3 times because it's at 3 separate locations. Below that, you can also expand the MIT timeline. These are upcoming deadlines that you want to be aware of. You want to also make sure that you share this with your MIT so they are aware of those deadlines as well. And there's the deadlines for the entire year. Those deadlines will also be sent out in email monthly and then also through the monthly updates or newsletters. Below that, you have the documents and requirements. And there's two separate lists here. The first list is for brand new MITs, and the second one is for experienced MITs. For all MITs, we would like for them to complete the MAF registration survey, which is seen here at this link. And you'll just click there, and that's just going to give us some contact information so we can begin to build our mail list so we can contact you if we have any questions and to get out any kind of important information. Let's see. Alice, are you there?
I think I am.
Hopefully, Alice, and I tried to cover as much as possible, Alice, to keep it going, but feel free to go back and highlight anything I forgot to say.
Yeah, okay, sure thing. Hi, everybody. We really did try earlier today and got everything working, so go figure. Anyway, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So I am going to attempt to show my desktop. Okay, so Pam, can you see the web page that I'm showing?
I don't see anything yet, but it says that you're in control.
Okay. And we did work this out earlier as well, so now I'm not sure why it's not showing. All right. Well, I guess the main point is that we do have lots of information there that Pam was showing you on the new MAF web page, and this is in lieu of a handbook that tends to be a little bit less dynamic. So we wanted to make sure that you all have a place where the most recent announcements can be found. So let's see, Pam, did you talk about on the timeline? So just wanted you to be aware that if you look at July 31st, that's where we're going to let you know who your MIT buddy is, somebody in your region that you can get together with and do some problem solving and learn from. Also, you'll find out who your regional coordinator is. That's going to be somebody coming to visit you at your school. It may or may not be the same person that you know from your training experiences. And then you'll also have the online meetings as another way to connect and get your questions answered. One question I did want to answer that came up was somebody was asking about how do they pose a question for the community. There is a forum out there, a KCM forum, which hasn't been used a whole lot recently, but we are going to resurrect that. Right now there's a great archive there of different things that MITs have shared in the past and different questions that they've posed. But what we're going to do is have Pam Reichelderfer, our technology person, is going to send you your login information by July 31st. And then that's another place where you're going to be able to get notices of postings by other MITs. And then we'll also have a static record of past questions. So the question that just came up was, how do I find out what other MITs are doing in terms of collaboration? You know, what's their focus if they go in and collaborate with a regular classroom teacher? What's the duration, the frequency? So one thing I wanted to say about that, and there are tons of different models out there, so that will be part of your learning journey, is to connect with lots of other MITs who are doing it in different ways. But I wanted to encourage you to be sure to read your grant, because as I go through those,
I think we might have lost Alice there, so I'm going to go on until she connects back. So I want to go on to show you the MAF assurance document, which is what several of you have asked about over the last couple of weeks. I do want to remind you, for the assurance document, I'll be sending that out with the link to this meeting, the recorded link of this meeting. And in that assurance document, I want to remind you to keep a copy. You can keep it a digital copy, or you can print a paper copy if you would like. In this assurance document, it outlines specific grant requirements. At the very end is the point that the part that a lot of people are looking for. There's the MAF assurance statement as well as a budget. And so when you submitted your RFA, your application for the grant this time, you included a budget. We do know that sometimes things change from that time that you applied for the grant to now, and so we want an updated budget as well. And that could reflect the MIT that you have selected since then. So it will go through all of the grant requirements, and I will go over that as well. And let me pull that up. And Alice, just chime back in if you're back on. And here's what the assurance document looks like. And let me zoom out so it's not so big. It will give you the background of the MAF grant. Here are the requirements, and this is the same requirements that were listed in the RFA when you applied. And if you have any questions at any time, you can email me. Most of the time I will refer back to this document during our newsletters as well. It also has it broken down into the role of the MIT, and it has just some things that the MIT needs to look for, as well as the principal roles. It also goes into details as far as assessments and reporting. Jennifer Martinez at KCM will handle most of that. So there's an outline there of what you can look for. It goes over funding requirements, exactly what the funding can be used for. And here are the documents that are very important that you're going to have to send back. And yes, Michael, this will be emailed out to you. I will probably go ahead and email this out this afternoon, but I will also include it in the email that lists the link to today's recorded meeting. Okay, so here's the budget summary, and it looks very similar to the RFA. So if you have any changes, you can include this one with the changes and the updates. But then this is the MAF assurance statement. Now what's key about this one is you're going to have to acquire your superintendent's signature as well as your principal's signature. So you want to make sure that those original signatures are included before you snail mail that back into KDE. And so yes, we do have to have original signatures on there, and therefore it will have to be mailed in, and there's the address there at the bottom. But to go over this, you will fill out this. You can either type it in or you can just fill it out by hand. You want to list your school name and your district. Also list your school address and your school telephone number. Please go ahead and list the principal and the principal's email. Also the intervention teacher and their email as well. Now where it says approved program, that is the program that you applied for in the RFA process, so that's what you would fill in there. So it would either be Assessing Math Concepts, AVMR, Math Recovery, Do the Math, or Number Worlds. Does anybody have any questions about this document? And like Alice said there in the chat box, this document is also available on the KCM website under the MAF 2015-16 resources. All right. I'm also going to put up the contact information again for you. And let me see if it'll let me present that, make it large. If you have any general grant questions or budget questions, you can email those directly to me. If you have a specific budget question, especially about munis coding, you can go ahead and email those to Kristen Burton and just let her know that it's for MAF. For KCM, if you have questions about program implementation, that would be Alice. If it's about data, that would be Jennifer. And any kind of technical support would be Pam. Okay, here are your next steps to think about. Make sure that you have your MIT in place, and remember that is a certified teacher with your 3 years of primary teaching experience, and primary is defined as K3. If you have questions about that, you can email me at any time. Make sure you go ahead and complete the assurance documents, including the budget. You want to make sure you get the superintendent's signature as well as the principal's signature. And what that does is that says that they understand the grant requirements and that they will implement the grant requirements as well. You want to go ahead and register for the MAF online, and that's through the KCM website that we just showed you. You can go ahead and register for your summer professional learnings, and those registration links are there. I know several of you have already registered. Go ahead, and if you haven't, you need to order materials if you're implementing Number Worlds or Do the Math. For the other programs, you do not have to pre-order any of those materials. And go ahead and mark your calendar for August 3rd for a technical assistance session at 1 o'clock. And we'll go over things like Abacus that KCM uses to collect data, but we'll also go over the intervention tab as well. And let me exit it and see how, I think we have a question. Alice just wanted you to remember that the timeline for the assurance deadline is July 15th. The assurance statement is actually not due until August 1st. The mail-in thing is not until August 1st. So that document in which you have to have your superintendent signature is August 1st. Now, for the confirmation code and all this information, the deadline for that is July 15th. So you'll want to send in the confirmation code, and I'm going to give that to you in just a second. Also in that email, I would like you to tell me your district school name, because I want to go ahead and start building a listserv so we can email you with any updates. Also include in that email the district contact for grants or budgets, because sometimes they like to know when the money is it comes out quarterly, but they have to send in reports as well. And I will send this all out in an email with all the information. I will also attach the PowerPoint from today, and I'll also include the recorded link as well. Do we have any other questions? And Alice will post the PowerPoint as well on the MAF resource page for us. All right, the confirmation code for today. And again, you'll email that to me, and you can start emailing it to me today if you would like. Just make sure you include your district school name, your MIT name, your principal name, your district contact for grants or budgets, and then your superintendent's name as well. The confirmation is 15 MAF 16. Again, the confirmation code is 15 MAF 16. Yes, Heather, I'll make sure that you're included on that email as well. If you have any other questions, go ahead and type those into the chat box. If you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and exit the meeting, and you can start sending that information into me. My email address is pamela.pickens@education.ky.gov. At any time, if you have any questions, you can either email myself. Alice Gabbard at KCM is also always available to answer questions. The only programs that require that you pre-order the material would be Number Worlds and Do the Math. Sure, Tracy, I'll get your email updated. Melanie, I'll get yours on there as well. And thank you again for attending today. If you have any questions, please let us know. Kara, we are looking at adding an additional training, and we'll send out that information as well. Yes, Jennifer, I'll add Kelly to the email as well. Thanks, everyone. Terry, if you'll go on and send that information to me as well as Alice, we'll get to your question and we'll see what you need to do. Yes, Sabrina, you'll just email me the confirmation code as well as that information, your name as well as the principal name, school name, district, budgets contact at your district level, and your superintendent name. Thank you, everyone. Again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Terry, you'll just send that confirmation code as well as the contact information to me. Just through email is fine. When I send out the assurance document, you will actually have to print out that assurance statement and then snail mail that back to me because we have to have the original signatures on file. And I'll go on and email that out in just the next few minutes. But that's the assurance document will actually come back by regular mail. and then just the confirmation for today and contact information for today. You can just email that to me.